All right, we're sitting here with Eddie from Gentleman Suite Barbershop. All right, Eddie, if you want to just tell people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I go by Eddie Aguayo. I'm originally from California, moved out here to Texas, started high school pretty much, and that's kind of like when I started cutting hair. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So how long have you been cutting hair?
I would say at least 10 years. It's a weird count because I started in high school about 2010, but I didn't really start cutting until like 2016 when I took it pretty serious. So
got you.
I don't know. It's a mixture of like two dates. That's why I said like about give or take, 10 years.
Got you.
Yeah.
Did that just start with like edging up like all your friends at school, or were you actually like fading?
I really started with me, actually,
Okay.
bro. Yeah, I was that kid that would, ask for, I don't know, some haircut that I see on a movie or just, on the internet.
Gotcha.
And, never really went to at least a real barbershop here in Austin. I did in California, but, my mom would take me to these salons where they would mess up my hair. Wow. And so I think that's where the inspiration came from of cutting my own hair and just, trying to get that exact sort of haircut. But, brother and dad, had a couple clippers at home and started with them. Maybe two high school buddies that I still cut up today.
Okay.
I could consider them my first clients, so started there.
Yeah. So how long were you practicing on them before you finally like started charging?
At least 5 years, I would say. Yeah. It wasn't until like 2016, I was actually telling my coworkers to come by and get a couple cuts in so I could start practicing. And so it was a little bit shortly after that. I was doing $15 a haircut in the garage too. Yeah. But that's definitely where that, turned into a passion.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Got you. I know we went to the same barber school, man. Mm-hmm. So I just want to hear your experience about how Bavell Barber School was for you, man, back whenever you went.
Yeah. Bavell was cool, bro. It was definitely like a unique learning experience. You kind of don't really know what to expect, going into a barber school. So with that being said, I feel like it could be a hit or miss, just from everything that people would tell me whenever you are applying for barber school. So, man, Bavell.
Would you suggest anybody to go to Bavell? Like, is that like, were you fine with, you know what I'm saying? Or what would you have? How could you have changed your experience with Bavell? Like, what would you have, like, basically wanted them to do different or do different yourself?
Yeah, okay. I think Bavell definitely could have been a little bit more hands-on and involved with beginner barbers, I would say. You're going into a barber school with no experience. I think Bavell wouldn't have been necessarily the best choice. I feel like I got lucky going to Bavell because I already came with a little bit of experience prior to that. But the people that have never touched a clipper in their life and they're going to school to get that first experience, I think that's kind of a tough experience going there for sure. Just because I think one of the biggest things for me was honestly short-staffed and not getting, the help and attention that we needed for sure.
Got you. What year was this?
This was like in 21, so.
Got you.
Yeah, I just feel like, we got the short end of the stick for sure. And coming in with experience, I feel like I was able to progress a little bit easier, stay afloat, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, it just feels like they're really short-staffed.
Okay, man. Well, I feel like mine was like it was pretty tough, honestly. And I'm pretty sure we had more staff than what you might have had in 21, because I went back in 2018 to 19. And there was a lot of people there. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like it was more so of like a classroom vibe, like literally being in like a classroom instead of on the floor. Was it like that for y'all as well?
Yeah, it was both. I honestly didn't mind the classroom vibes, to be honest, bro. It was more like they would try to find something to like just hold you off for a little bit. So we honestly like split teachers. And so like the first month or two is nothing but theory, class. You're going over things in the book on your computer, paperwork and all like that, until 2 months in you hit the floor. And so what would happen a lot was the teacher would be like 30 minutes maybe with us and would tell us, here, stay busy with this assignment. And then they'd go on the floor to the other people that are a little bit more advanced in their hours. And we would just, it almost felt like,
Just leaving you in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not cheap. Barber school isn't cheap, you know?
At all.
To be honest, Bevel was one of the most expensive barber schools, I think, in the Austin area. It's like 14, depending if you're getting the barber kit or not.
Oh,
Financial aid
kit,
too, yeah, but the barber kit added another $2,000 to your tuition. So it could go from 14 to like 12, right? And even 12 without the barber kit, that's
Still a lot.
12 grand, give or take.
Yeah,
That's a lot for them to just kind of leave you, and it kind of just felt half-assed, at least most of the process throughout the way.
Gotcha.
I think that was one of the things I definitely wasn't a fan of, you know?
Yeah.
Invested my 14 grand. Sometimes felt like, man, I could have invested it somewhere else where they let you do all the book stuff at home on your own time, and you would just go to school for the floor, you know? Hands-on.
That sounds good, bro, honestly.
Yeah.
So what would you say to anybody that's coming up, you know, in barber school right now?
In barber school, I would say, man, I saw a lot of, you know, I had a lot of different classmates that kind of took different routes. But I would say, if you really want it, you like definitely stick it out. Don't let, you know, any of the, you know, bad experiences in school kind of hold you back or discourage you. But definitely, you know, keep pushing forward to just finish your hours and get out of there. Because I kind of felt like that too. That was sort of my experience. Like, man, what did I do? Am I even learning anything? And am I progressing on any of my skills, you know, before I get out of here and finish my hours? So I think one of the things that kept me pushing was just like, hey, you know, looking at the bigger picture, getting that license, and then being able to progress after that. That was like my tunnel vision. Just finish your hours, you know, turn in your paperwork, because it's really not hard, right?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the other distractions that could, you know, misguide you from that. But yeah, definitely that. Just finish your hours and definitely do those tests too. I feel like there's a lot of kids that feel like they want to go to barber school. Not the ones that really want it, of course, but the ones that, you know, are just trying to leave their 9-to-5 job just to do this one.
Yeah.
And it's like they almost aren't, you know, passionate about it. It's more of like, it's just a cooler 9-to-5. And if you feel like that, or that's your reason, you know, while you're in barber school, it might not work out for you, because I've seen a lot of people just not take their exams after barber school. It's almost like they think, you know, you just finish your hours and that's it, but there's a lot more to it after that for sure. Finish your hours, take those 2 exams as soon as you can after barber school. That's my big recommendation. I think you'd be on a pretty good note after that, for sure. Got
you. So that transition from barber school to your first barbershop, where were you cutting at?
Where was I at? I honestly hopped in, I think, with Joey right off of Lamar. And to be honest, I was bringing up those 2 exams because I actually took a while to take my last 2 exams after I finished school, after I finished my hours. So it was one of my friend's shops. It was a buddy of mine that I went to high school with. Him and his buddy had like a clothing store, and they just happened to have like an empty loft upstairs where they had like a barber shop set up. But it wasn't like a legit barbershop, bro. It wasn't necessarily structured. There was no structure, you know. There was no barber pole, barbershop sign, no advertisement. It was, yeah, you were just really renting out the chair and the spot. But it definitely felt like, it was still a good experience, just because, I don't know, I just couldn't do, me personally, the commission. So doing the barber booth, you know, I was able to do that. If you can do that, for sure. But, you know, you don't have to, you know, jump the levels. You can definitely level up, start somewhere where they can provide those walk-ins for you. I think I just took the harder route. I ended up doing the booth thing, and then I was trying to build clientele, but it was definitely a slow progress, you know, from barber school to a barbershop. It was slow progress, definitely trying to get, you know, your clientele list built up. Definitely a learning experience for sure, you know.
I like that concept though. Like the concept of like the clothes downstairs and then like the barbershop upstairs.
It was a cool mix.
Yeah. If it's advertised right, I feel like that's a pretty dope concept.
Yeah. I think it definitely needs to be separated though, for sure. There was like 2 other shops in Austin that were trying to do the same thing. There was another one that had literally though it was in the same floor, and the clothes were literally, let's say, I don't know,
like a couple feet away.
Yeah, 10 to 20 feet away from the barbershop.
Hair getting all on the clothes.
I think so. So yeah, it's definitely got to be done right.
Downstairs.
Yeah, I've seen even people do tattoo shops, but I don't know how sanitary that can be. I definitely don't think that can be one.
Yeah.
That concept was kind of cool, but.
And did you come to Sola after that?
Yeah, right after that I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that experience, just being like your own shop owner, bro? Like, how is that? How do you feel?
It's a good feeling for sure. I definitely think It's what everybody wants at the end of the day. You know, being a barber, starting barber school, or whenever you start, you know, you decide you want to cut hair. I think that's like the end, not the end goal, but definitely where you want to end up at for sure.
Gotcha.
Having your own spot. It's like I was saying before. There's definitely levels to it. So I definitely wouldn't skip out, you know, being somewhere where it's not your shop, you know, and getting that experience. I definitely wanted that because I wanted to see what, like, the do's and don'ts of running your own barbershop, you know?
Yeah.
So everything being there, like, yeah, of course, all the good stuff, the setup, you know, the experience for your clientele that you want to, you know, build for them, all the other stuff behind the scenes, the administrative work, how structured is the shop, you know, who does what, when.
Yep.
I think that's definitely important for sure for you to go through, and compared to just, you know, going from barber school to trying to own your own shop and you know, opening up something like that.
Bro, 100%. Like,
I think you need that for sure.
Facts.
Because that's where I saw, I was like, okay, I definitely would see things that would happen in the shop that I didn't want happening if I had my own shop.
Yeah.
And so that definitely put a clearer vision.
Helps you learn.
Yeah. And so, you know, coming here to Soul Salons, I was able to definitely weave out all the other stuff, you know.
All the bag.
Yeah.
Good in, right?
And then it just helps you stay organized better when you do want to come and open up your own spot.
Gotcha.
You know. But also having full control. Solo salons, you know, it's your own suite, your own spot. It's like renting, having booth rent, but also having your own little space. So it really does feel like you do have your own shop. I mean, at the end of the day,
You really do.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not like I don't know what you call it, like a separated establishment. You're under Sola Salons, but you know, everybody's individually running their own thing here. So
Lease, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah.
So I think it definitely counts. It's definitely worth it too. Price wise, booth rent, you know, around the city it's really worth it. I think a lot of people are moving towards that. But everybody's has, you know, their own preferences. A lot of people love the barbershop vibes, you know, the brotherhood, having
like chilling in the shop.
yeah,
right?
having, you know, 6 to 10 barbers, you know, on the side, and then just everybody, you know.
Facts. Last question, man. What is your goal for 2026?
Really stepping it up here. I think, you know, specifically in my situation, well, it's not really a situation, but from my experience, I definitely want to milk out the spot a little bit more for sure.
Yeah.
Keep building clientele.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a good spot. I don't think we've ran into its full potential, so I definitely want to see what that would be like, especially in 26. And just really stepping it up a little bit more, advertisement, posting more, adding more services.
Yeah.
I think the goal is just really building clientele. I'm still, in my barber career, at least feel like I'm, you know, still early on in those early years where I still got a lot to build. So it's really just building, progressing my craft.
So what all do you do? Like, what is, like, you know, all the services right now and the price points for them?
Price points as well? Yeah. Haircuts, just a haircut, you know, 45. I think that's fair. I think it's a little under average, depending on, I guess, in the area of Austin. Haircuts, beards, designs, for sure. You combine the haircut and beard, which a lot of people do right now, that's what, 55, give or take. That's definitely fair too, under 60. For a seasoned barber, yeah. There's a lot of unseasoned barbers, I think, you know, charging that too. And I don't know, that'll,
a little bit.
yeah. And it's not, you know, me saying it, it's a lot of my clientele that'll come to me and will speak on those experiences at those barbershops. So designs, they've kind of fallen off popularity a little bit recently.
Yeah.
I think shear work, bro. Shear, like the skills with the shears is apparently it flies over a lot of barbers' heads, man. I've definitely heard a lot of clientele saying that they run into a lot of barbers that just don't work with shears, clippers only, which I think that's, you know, it's definitely something you should know.
Yeah.
You know, as a barber, like, you're not a barber just because you know how to, you know, work the clippers. You gotta know how to work the shears too.
Facts.
You know.
All right, man. I appreciate you letting me interview you, man. You are located over here at Barton Creek Square Mall inside of Austin, Texas. Is there anything else that you want anybody that might be new looking for a barber to know about you as a barber?
Repeat that question one more time.
Is there anything that you want anybody out there that's currently looking for a barber to know about you as a barber, or even about this shop as a whole?
Okay.
To what can, you know, basically attract them in, like what separates you from other people?
Yeah, I think it's like a great personal experience, and it's going to be unique to you. I would say, for sure. Going to, I feel like a regular barbershop with other barbers, not that they can't provide that sort of experience for you, but it almost feels like generic and rushed, and they kind of use this sort of equation they use on everybody else to kind of get some sort of results. I think coming into our suite, you get like a more of a personal one-on-one experience, not only just in the room, because it's just two of us in here, and you get your own little couch, right, to kind of chill in, kind of enclosed area. But we also like take our time too here to kind of figure out, what your hair is like, what issues you have with styling your hair, all those little things for sure. I think we take into fact and consideration, and I like providing that for my clients for sure.
The movies
and the movies, complimentary drinks. I think that's another big thing. If you can see the bottles in the background, people love that for sure. It's just really good vibes. Not that you can't get good vibes also, in a regular shop, but something about just, two barbers. And we've had a lot of clientele say like, man, I love this experience where it's just a little bit more personal. People like the chill, quiet environment, and just, you almost get like special treatment in a way for sure. So I think that's a lot of the big things that, people will notice and get to experience if they do come to the Gentleman Suite and Soul Salons, they come out here and check us out for sure.
All right, man. Well, y'all know where to find them. This is Gentleman Suite inside Barber Creek Square Mall. Say it again. This is my boy Eddie. And yeah, man, appreciate you again for letting me interview you.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.